Hello and welcome back to the NBA AUSCAST for 2021. It's been quite a while since the last episode, obviously due to the season stop with COVID. I then didn't pick it back up in the restart of the season, just thought I'd wait until this new season. So we've got plenty to cover and talk about, so let's get straight into it. Now, the first thing we're going to just to go over is last year's results, what my preseason picks were, if I was close with any of them, what my picks are for this season. Talk a little bit about some off-season stuff that happened, and then that may cover it for this first episode. But yeah, so starting with last year's picks, obviously the winner was Los Angeles Lakers winning in 6 games against my Miami Heat, who I was so ecstatic to see get into the finals. Incredible run in the bubble. Jimmy Butler played like an MVP. The rise of Tyler Hero as a rookie was incredible. Him and Duncan Robinson smashing down huge threes all games. Tyler really picked it up, played well in the clutch. It was a great postseason run for Miami. Some promising things to look forward to into the future. Obviously, you got Bam, who's still young and is re-signed, and looks to be incredible big going forward. So I'm interested to see what we can do. But going back to last season, I actually predicted the Lakers would win the title. I said they would win in 6 as well. However, I didn't pick my own Miami Heat to make the finals, so I do regret that. I thought the Philadelphia Sixers would be the team to get through and play against the Lakers, and they did not live up to the hype whatsoever. Yeah, it was quite disappointing to see, actually. I thought the Sixers had a really good team. I'm not sure if it's coaching or the lack of chemistry or what the issue was with their team. On paper, they were incredible, but just could not win on the road. They could win at home, no worries, but just could not do it on the road. Postseason came, didn't look good, so that was the end of them. But yeah, got the pick right with the Lakers. Moving on to MVP, I actually predicted LeBron would win MVP. He finished second in the voting last season. I think Giannis did deserve to win it based off, if you look at the stats and where their team finished in first place and everything like that, it's hard to deny that Giannis deserved it. But one thing that really surprised me was how little first place votes LeBron did get. I thought it would have been a lot closer than what the scoring suggested it was. But yeah, no, Giannis takes that out. No surprise there. My Rookie of the Year pick was Michael Porter Jr., which obviously didn't happen. Didn't get the minutes that I was expecting him to. He got more minutes come postseason, but that's obviously not enough to do it. And obviously Ja won that award. I've actually picked Michael Porter Jr. this year for my most improved pick, so we'll see how that goes. I feel like he should get a lot more minutes this season. And he's already in the starting rotation. He's already had a couple of good games for the Nuggets, so I'll be keeping a close eye on him this season. My Defensive Player of the Year, I believe I picked Anthony Davis. However, a lot of people think he should have won it, but Giannis won that as well, becoming the first player since Michael Jordan to win MVP and Defensive Player in the same season, which is such an incredible feat by Giannis. Just a shame, once it comes postseason, he turns into a center that doesn't know how to apparently put the ball in the bucket anymore, and he turns into a big, and a lot of teams seem to shut him down quite easily. And as we've seen, Miami absolutely wiped the floor with the Bucks, so I was very happy to see that. But it was an incredible season for Giannis, and he's going to be a threat again to win both awards, as he's going to every year, I believe. For Rookie of the Year, I already ran over that, sorry. Going into the next pick I had, so I had Six Man of the Year. I chose Lou Williams. I thought it was really, could have been an obvious pick. Obviously, didn't get it with Dennis Schroeder winning that and Harrell being runner-up. This year, I haven't made my pick yet, so that should come up in one of the next episodes. Now, my next pick was most improved player. I actually selected Ben Simmons last year. With Butler being out of the team and Simmons reportedly, working on his jump shot pre-season. And in the pre-season game, he even hit a couple threes. I thought he was going to take a step up this season. He pretty much just played the exact same role he always has. Took barely any jump shots. Was just defensive. Playmaking big pretty much. So he obviously didn't win that award. Had a crack at the Defensive Player of the Award. He done well there, but most improved. Wasn't even around the money on that one. So, but coming into this year's picks, so I'll just recap on some of them. I've actually got my most improved picked now. Did that whilst I had the recording paused. So this year for MVP, I'm going with Magic Man Luka Doncic with the Dallas Mavericks. Rookie for the year, I'm going with James Wiseman from the Warriors. He's already the starting center. He's going to see a lot of minutes, and he actually looks pretty good so far this season. So most improved, going with Porter Jr. as I mentioned. He's already starting. I think he's an amazing offensive player. Needs to work on his defense, but that'll hopefully come during the season. Defensive player, I'm going with Ben Simmons. He was incredible last year. So far this year, he's got really good stats so far, holding some players like Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook to 1 for 5 and 1 for 6 from the field and stuff. Like, he's incredible on-ball defender. So going with Simmons. Sixth man of the year, I'm going with Goran Dragic from Miami Heat. He's pretty much playing that off the bench role now. And from what I watched in the finals last year and the postseason coming into this year, like, he can come off the bench and give you 20 and 6, 20 and 7, So I think he'll be good for Miami this year again. I'm actually going with the Lakers to win it again this year. Similar pick. I'll have them in 6 again. However, this year I finally think Giannis and the Bucks are going to win the East and actually make the finals for the first time with Giannis there. I think Lakers still win in 6 though. LeBron finals MVP. But that does it for the picks for this upcoming season and recapping last year's picks. So the next topic we're going to get into is just some of the off-season stuff. I just wanted to give a quick mention to and shout out that I thought was really good. The Last Dance documentary, incredible. Thought it was amazing. Obviously, a lot of controversial stuff came out of it, in terms of Pippen's contract and how people thought Pippen was treated during the documentary. And unfortunately, that was always going to happen. He did make some bad choices back when he was with the Bulls, and he doubled down on some of them in the documentary, which didn't make him look that great. But considering what the documentary was about, and at the time it came out with COVID and everything, it was so good for basketball to have that, and that was really good to see. And of course, the only other thing I'm going to touch on really quickly is obviously the loss of, Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. Shocking. Can't believe it. It was just shocking. It still now shocks me so much. I was at a friend's house when I found out. Had a 4-hour drive home that day, and it was the longest 4 hours I think I've ever been in a car. It just felt like forever just thinking about it. Seeing everything that's happened this year, from his funeral and some of the things that are coming out that he was looking to do in the future, like say his own shoe company and what he was doing with women's basketball. It was such a sad loss considering what was yet to come from him. Obviously his daughter was a huge loss as well. She looked like she was going to be a WNBA star, and then obviously the other families in that helicopter crash as well. Rest in peace to them also. Just really bad time for basketball and the community in general. Obviously the other big thing, COVID. It is what it is. Everyone knows what it is by now and what the effects are it's had. I'm obviously not going to go into that in too much detail. Hopefully it gets sorted out this year, and we get a vaccine that helps. But we'll see what happens. Just please stay safe, everyone, and adhere to social distancing and wearing a mask indoors, and just do what you can to look not only after yourself but the people around you. So that's pretty much just a recap of what happened last year when I wasn't making episodes and stuff like that. But to finish off the segment, need to talk about one particular thing that I was saying last year that has turned out not to be true, especially the postseason proved me wrong there. One of my good mates would definitely be happy to hear this on the podcast. So I spoke a lot about Kawhi Leonard being the best player in the year last year. The Clippers had the regular season advantage over the Lakers with the games won, and Kawhi had incredible games against them. And he looked like the best player in the world when he was playing. But then comes the postseason, 3-1 lead. They only need one to win one game, and they're into the finals to play against the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, and that's what everyone wanted to see. Is what I wanted to see. And that game, they somehow blow a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets. They came all the way back, knocked out the Clippers, and unfortunately, if you're the best player on your team and you blow a 3-1 lead in the playoffs, you can't be considered the world's best player. So I officially give up my point about Kawhi being the world's best player. And I concede that LeBron has once again taken the reign and proved that he is the world's best player, and Kawhi is not. So just to clarify that point, going forward into this season, I do have, again, LeBron as the greatest player in the world as of now. So that's pretty much going to cover it. Short first episode. Obviously, it's been almost a full week since the season started. There's going to be a lot to talk about this season and cover, so I'll make sure I've got some more topics going into the next episodes and make it a lot longer, around the 20-minute mark, most likely. But like I mentioned before, everyone, please stay safe with COVID, adhere to the rules, and do what you can to protect yourself, your family, and those around you. And everyone, it's good to have basketball back. Feels amazing. Enjoy the season, and we'll be talking in the next week with some more NBA AUSCAST. Thanks for listening, everyone.